This is my home, this is where I live, and I've lived here now for 6 months. Apart from when Chloe was born, this is the best 6 months of my life, by far. It really is. When I was in the UK, I had, what do you call it, situational or circumstantial depression. I don't even know if that's a thing, situational or circumstantial depression, but I'm going to say that it is. I couldn't see how to get out of this horrible situation that I was in. My circumstances, they limited what I could do, what I couldn't do, and the NHS wouldn't treat me for the problem that I got. So yes, I was depressed. I was very depressed, and I don't know, honestly don't know where I'd be now if I hadn't have moved. So the video title of this is going to be Thailand Saved My Life, because it saved my life. I'm not saying that I was going to do something stupid, but it's basically saved what life I've got left, sort of thing, you know. And I'm enjoying it. I can enjoy every moment of this life now. In the UK, I was basically kept disabled because they refused to actually treat my problem, which was a bulged sciatic nerve. And I had two options. Either I could go to Bulgaria to have the operation done at a cost of about 26,000 or something like that, pounds. Or a friend of mine said, go to Thailand and have one of the medical massages that they provide over there, and you won't have a problem. Now, that was it was a leap of faith, an absolute leap of faith, and I am so glad that I took that leap. So glad, because I've never looked back. This journey, the journey over here, was terrifying. Selling all my stuff to move over here was absolutely terrifying. I had to do something because it was destroying me, absolutely destroying me. You don't enjoy it, you don't really enjoy it, do you? When you're out and about, you know, in the UK, because it's just so populated, it's so crammed, you're on top of each other all the time, and you can't look at anybody else in case they stab you. Everything in the Western world is sort of consumer driven. You have to have the latest phone, the latest laptop, the latest computer, the latest TV, the latest everything to keep up with the Joneses. But when you go on holiday, you don't think about like buying a new laptop, buying a new phone, buying a new this, buying a new that. You don't think about that. Now, the way I look at it now is I haven't got the latest of anything, but that's the way I want it, because I'm now on holiday. In the UK, now you've got a divided population. You've got the people, the submissive people who don't say anything, and you've got the people with voices. And the people with voices are the ones who are actually causing the problem for the government. They're causing problems in the streets, they're causing, you know, riots or whatever. And it's a completely divided population. And in the UK, nobody's got a voice, nobody's got an independent mind, nobody can think independently. If you think independently, and then somebody will say, you can't think like that. Well, the people who come over here, they're all of the same mindset, they're all of my mindset, and my mindset is, you can say what the hell you want, I don't care what you say, I don't care what you call me, I don't care what you call other people. The standard of living is reducing in the UK. The price of food, the price of fuel, the price of gas, the price of electric, the price of everything, even parking. It just seems to me that there's very, very little inflation over here. They don't get inflated prices. What you pay today, you'll pay tomorrow, and you'll pay the next day. I used to go some places and I go into a car park and you can't even park. But you've already been charged at the bloody entry to park somewhere, so you have to drive round and round and round and round and round. Over here, parking is free. You might get some places in Bangkok or something like that that pay for parking, but around here, every parking is free. And I can guarantee that I will be able to get a parking space as well. In the UK, it's everyone for themselves. Everyone's just treading on each other. It's always a fight to the top, and the more bodies underneath it you can stand on, the higher that you get. And they're all the people that you've trodden on the way to the top. And then when you're at the top, nobody just respects you, nobody likes you, because you've trodden on everybody below you. Over here, it's collectivist. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's basically everybody helps each other. Everybody helps each other as a whole to get to the top, to rise, to be successful, and nobody treads on anybody else. And nobody's got this f you attitude of, I'm going to go my own way once it's been done and I'll get all the praise for it like you have in the UK. You don't get that over here. The UK's been overrun by illegal immigrants. They are illegal immigrants. And the social vandalism that's been done to the UK is just, I can't stand it. I can't bear it to see what's happening to the country, how far it's been dragged down. And on the news they've got this Iranian-backed propaganda about people fighting on the streets in a country that we've got absolutely no control. I keep saying we, that the UK's got no control about. It just seems to me that everybody's going around trying to make everybody else hate each other for no reason. And then what you've got to think about is the far left is now the centre because it's Labour, it's in the centre, so everything else is far right. And they're calling everything far right. Everything's far right. It's far right. Racism. Why? Why is this happening? See, it doesn't happen over here. This is a nation of peaceful, happy people. People all welcoming you into their home and help you if you ever need help. You know, financially, emotionally, they will help you as much as they possibly can. I'm going to go on a ride now. I'm going to go on a ride to my thingy place and I'm going to do an outside sort of a report.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fantastic day on planet Earth. I have never been here. What is in here?
Let's go up here. Wow. Look at this. I always put some money in the donation box, as long as I've got some change. Yes, I have.
There's a monitor lizard.
Having a 6-month review, you know, I sit and think about what the UK does to people, about how it poisons your mind, and it won't ever end. It's just a downward spiral of complete destruction of the society and everything. And it all stems from, I suppose, the news, the media. The media are one of the worst people to actually cause this problem. It's always reporting bad news. You never get any report of good news, of things that happen anymore. I stopped watching TV. I stopped turning my TV on for probably about 12 months before I left, because I just couldn't stand what was going on, what they were actually saying to people. The news media, they'll say, oh, you're all going to die, you might as well bloody end it now. And it was all negative. Didn't matter what you were watching. Talk TV, God, everything, it's all negative news. And it's the same as on like YouTube and stuff like that, with things like GB News and Talk TV or whatever it is. Everything's bad about the UK, and I can't stand it. I could not stand that negativity in my life anymore. And the government don't care about the people who were born in the UK. They only care about their numbers. They care about what's good for their economy, not the economy. You know, the things that are good for the economy is looking after the people who earn the bloody money, who pay the taxes. The government are not looking after the taxpayer. And that is a fundamental thing that it's got to happen, and they're not doing it anymore. They're really not looking after them. And things like, they stopped the winter payment for old people. You know, they introduced that because they said there was too many old people dying in the winter, so we'll give them a winter payment to stop them from dying. So now they're just giving them a death sentence. I don't understand. Why? Immigration is out of control, completely out of control. 250 people a day. You know, they're the minions. They will be the ones who are earning the tax for the government. So I can understand them doing that, but what they've actually done is they've swamped the system, and the system cannot cope with what they've actually done. So you've got like the NHS, and they refuse to treat me because I was a walking wounded, and they don't care about walking wounded. They only care about the people, and quite rightly, you know, they've got to make priorities because it's completely swamped now. You know, I paid into the system. I paid into it for 40 years. I've got my full entitlement for benefits for pension, but I don't know when that's coming. But I paid into it for 40 years, and I tried to get something back off it, and they refused on the grounds of I'm not disabled enough. I was suffering daily. You know, the cold is a major thing for me. Look, a shell. I found a shell. Chloe, isn't this a shell that you've always wanted? I miss her. I miss her so badly. I do understand that everything is about money, and everything that the government do is all about money. They don't do it for the people. They never did it for me. They never did it for you. They did it because it earns money. They are trying to turn it into something that looks like a communist bloody China by muting the media. If you retweet something that's of hate crime, you will get arrested and charged for it. Oh my God. Why not cure the problem? The problem is the reason why people are posting these things. Don't put a plaster on things. Cure the problem. Get rid of the problem. I think the problem is the government, actually. As I understand it, the only part of democracy in the UK that you actually get is voting for a party, and the party can say absolutely anything and then go completely opposite, which is what Labour have actually done. I was watching a video the other day about, they said that every house has to be net zero, and if it's not net zero then you're going to be fined, blah blah blah. The flat that I was in, that I sold it at just the right time, purely because it could never be net zero. It could never be made to be net zero. You would always get fined, or you would get an increase in council tax or something like that, but it could never ever be net zero. Oh, they smell. I'm not a flower man, but my God, they smell nice. They smell so nice. Wow, that's such a strong smell. I mean, this is Thailand. This is a place where the people look after the people, because everybody wants everybody else to be equal to them. And that's exactly what I talk about, is everybody's equal. Everybody should be equal, treated equal. And I get my enjoyment by giving people happiness and to make people understand things that they never thought they ever could. And I do try and do it on their level, or my level, because my level is their level. Everyone's equal. No one's better than anybody else. Have I got rose-tinted spectacles on? Absolutely, definitely not. I never did have, and I never will have. I am still 100% in my mind that I have done exactly the right thing at exactly the right time in my life. You know, to see these people every single day is so humbling. It makes you feel so small and so part of a society where everybody looks after everybody else. Nobody's fighting to be on top. Nobody's fighting to be better than anybody else. To see what I do on a daily basis would make anybody very, very humble, very, very privileged to see these things, to see these people who they have t-shirts to say we stand together. Because that is a true advert for Thailand, is we stand together.